Right, full-time whistle has just gone Dublin. I've just had to remind me. It's because I'm in Amsterdam, I'm getting confused. In Dublin, full-time whistle's just gone. I've just left an Irish bar where I've watched the game. Here are my immediate thoughts following the full-time whistle. A reminder, if you get value from the channel, if you appreciate the content, which I'll bring you even when I'm on a weekend away with my mates, then and there's some of them there, then hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and leave your comment down below. Right, I haven't spoiled the result. If you haven't seen the game, obviously, here's your warning. Well done to New Zealand. Wow, they are legit. I mean, oh, of course they're legit. They're New Zealand. Okay, question. How much of that was New Zealand being very efficient and nullifying Ireland? And how much was that Ireland kind of self-inflicting, not taking care of their own business? Because it's a funny thing, isn't it? There's always two sides to that story. Pressure. The pressure that New Zealand were able to exert when they had their opportunities. And then I sort of characterise that game a little bit. Ireland weren't able to build any pressure because of errors. They just let the pressure valve off the whole time. And then they got tired through the game and they buckled under the pressure that New Zealand brought on in those key moments of the game. So, fair play, New Zealand. I mean, it wasn't a great game, let's be honest, was it? I don't think it lived up to the hype and the spectacle that we were expecting and hoping for. But it was intense, and you've got to congratulate both sides for that. Sorry, there's a Welshman there. We've just watched an amazing game, and he's talking about Max Llewellyn.
Yeah, who's the best 12 in the English Prem.
No, he's not. No, he's
Best,
13
okay,
and
fine. Anyway,
wing.
back to this game. Firstly, let me go back to the start. Michael D. Higgins was the highlight of the whole, maybe the highlight of the whole night. The wee man coming out, and what I appreciated about Michael D. Higgins being there is we could use him for scale, just to see how giant these international rugby players are.
He's not as big as Gary Barlow's son.
Not as big as Gary Barlow's son, correct. I mean, yeah. That's, anyway, sorry, that's distracted me now. The internet has been full of pictures of Gary Barlow's son this week. Yeah, Michael D. Higgins might have been the highlight of the whole night as a spectacle. Loved the haka. Do you know what? I think Ireland might have lost this game when they only played half of the New Zealand anthem. They did the Maori bit, and then all the New Zealand players were getting ready to sing the English language bit, and the music stopped, and it went into what? So Ireland had both of their anthems, but they only gave New Zealand half of theirs. That might have been an error. You might have stirred up a hornet's nest there, Ireland. And after there was some people complaining about England last week not having a singer for the Kiwi national anthem, I do think there's an element where you might have just stirred up a hornet's nest. The haka then was great. I love the fact that Aki, Gibson Park and James Lowe were all stood together, and that Rico Ioane, who's been so much the focus of hype this week, what with all the Johnny Sexton stuff, love the fact that he did lead the haka. So all the pre-game stuff was ace. Well, they didn't turn the sound on in the Irish bar I was in until after that point, so I kind of missed a bunch of it. But anyway, then the game started, and it was a big start for Ireland. Porter charged down a kick, and then Ireland got the first penalty. Harsh. I thought the first two penalties were kind of harsh-ish for both sides. I did, like obstruction against New Zealand for the first one, and then what was the second one? It was, yeah, was it? I can't even remember what the Ireland penalty was for. Sorry, the New Zealand penalty was for. But I remember thinking it was harsh on Ireland. So, and that's probably something that characterised the game. Actually, I didn't think Nick Berry really had a lot of control of the match, and he gave a lot of decisions that I was kind of scratching my head at. Particularly, there were some scrum decisions where it just felt like he had a magic 8 ball. And it was the old scrum bingo again. Who knows what the decision's going to be? But I mean, I'm not blaming the ref I wouldn't blame the ref for the poor performance from the lack of spectacle from the game, because the errors from both sides, in particular Ireland was the case. And I think New Zealand had 60% possession in the game. And bearing in mind Ireland are a team very, very comfortable with the ball and like having possession. and the fact that they had hardly any, and I can only remember about 3 proper attacks from them, one of which led to the Josh van der Fleer try, probably speaks volumes about that Ireland performance. Ireland are so good. You know, one thing they're good, Will Jordan put Talea away. New Zealand are so good at committing men and offloading, just like some of those real fundamental basics that, you know, I coach my son's rugby team, and some of the sort of stuff you try and teach them when they're young and growing up, just committing the man and giving, just some of the real fundamentals New Zealand do so well. And Will Jordan did that, and it brought out the best in Ireland's scramble defence, which was great. Tadhg Beirne was prominent. Satiti involved in everything in one period where New Zealand started to exert some pressure. He got a turnover, won the line out, gave good hands. I thought Armua as well was excellent. Some of the guys that aren't the automatic starters for New Zealand, so good. And that was a penalty. Ireland went to the corner on a penalty, didn't they? And New Zealand's maul defence was really good the whole night, actually. That was one thing that went very well for them. Their defence generally, but their maul D, and they cleaned out Ireland's line out, didn't they? It was what was it, 9-6 half time? Lost my place. Been a bit of a blur. This whole day's been a bit of a blur. Just I mean, in Amsterdam, the boys are. I think they're getting a burger at the minute. Some of them need. Some of them have got. Some of them have got some of the famous Amsterdam munchies at the minute, I think. But what a cool city. Anyway, second half. It sort of sprang into life a little bit. Josh van der Fleer's try was one of the few times when it was a solid Ireland scrum. They had phases. There was deception. One of the things I thought Ireland really lacked was deception. There was an attack they had later on in the game where it was like the first phase looked really good, shaped up from a scrum, nice pre-planned backs move, and then after that it just got very, very predictable. But to flip that round, I think that was the pressure that New Zealand put on. I thought New Zealand's pack did a job on Ireland, did a proper job, and outmuscled them, outpowered them, which is saying something, because you know I went to South Africa to watch Ireland play in those 2 test matches, and Ireland fronted up massively against the best pack in the world. So I think that actually I think one thing, England have got some issues with their attack, but just the physicality and set piece, scrums aside, England actually bring really well. And New Zealand have fronted up 2 weeks in a row against England and Ireland in that area. And then when there was an opportunity to score, when there was a chance to take it, they took it. And it was and Will Jordan scored that class try at the end. What was I saying? It's okay, you have a good night. I've just been distracted by that chat, but I've kept him off the camera. I think that's probably best for you that I keep it off the camera. Oh, dearie me. Do you know what? I'm out here with the boys. I don't know one of them. What's going on there? Sorry. I'm out here with the boys, having a holiday in a couple of days away in Amsterdam, and I'm going to go and get on with my night. I've hopefully given some semblance of sense after that game. I enjoyed the intensity, didn't enjoy the actual spectacle, admire New Zealand massively. Their heart is massive, and I tell you what, they've always had that. They had that in the World Cup. And Scott Robertson, Ian Foster, doesn't matter who they are, they're going to bring it. But I tell you what, Scott Robertson has got a tough bunch of boys there, and they deserve that win. And Ireland were poor, and the trouble for Ireland is now that was the success or failure of their autumn in that one nutshell, because now they've lost against New Zealand, they play Argentina, they play Fiji, they play Australia, 3 games they would expect to win at home. And the fact they've lost to New Zealand means, well, their autumn is going to be seen as a disappointment regardless. They're going to lose the number 1 spot in the world, whether that's to New Zealand or to South Africa. That's done now. So it's going to be a bit of an abject autumn for them, whereas New Zealand, fair play, and I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Apologies if that didn't make a whole lot of sense. When I get a bit more time, and a bit more space, I'll be back on the channel with more, as I will across the whole weekend. And I might give you some little behind the scenes of what's going on here in the dam. See you on the next one.